This week we're reviewing Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, which stars Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman, Lawrence Talbot, and Bela Lugosi as Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman was the first of a number of films that were later described as monster rallies because they involved various Universal monsters interacting with each other. Universal would follow this film with House of Frankenstein 1944 and House of Dracula 1945. So really, the Universal monsters are the original extended universe. Even more than that, there's a huge influence in the Marvel stuff from the Universal monsters. It's like very obvious.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, I mean, like the Thing is almost just Frankenstein. The characters are very similar. So I have to assume that in the 1960s, when all those characters were created, a huge influence on that was the Universal monsters.
Oh, certainly.
Because for that generation, that would have been their popular culture.
Yeah, and the monsters, they have persevered the test of time. Like you're saying, 1930, and now it's 2030, and we're still making these monster movies. I mean, they tried to reboot the whole monster universe.
There's been a lot of disasters. Like,
oh,
they
for
really
sure,
haven't been good. Like the Benicio del Toro Wolfman.
I'm not saying they're good, Gary. I'm just saying they keep making them.
To say that they've endured, they haven't been successful in forever. Maybe the new Nosferatu was successful.
Nosferatu was successful. No, that's fair. And then they did try to make a whole current, like, extended universe monsters with Tom Cruise as the
whole
mummy.
thing bombed. Yeah, the Mummy bombed, the
terrible.
Wolfman bombed. Did they make any more of them? Now Guillermo del Toro is doing Frankenstein, which looks great.
I like the monsters. They are classic, and they have been around for forever. They had a resurgence in like the 60s, 70s. Oh, the monsters and the Addams Family. It just became like a household thing for you to know about monsters. That's because all the Hammer films coming out with like Christopher Lee's Draculas. And there was just like this resurgence of monsters, and it's definitely not as strong as it used to be, but you know, monsters.
No, yeah, they were very popular in the 70s, not so popular in the 80s, and there was a little bit of a resurgence in the 90s with like Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Jack Nicholson's Wolf and stuff like that. I think Jack Nicholson's Wolf probably killed that trend.
Yeah, they're still making them. They're still around. It's a property, and Hollywood doesn't know how to come up with new things. So
Hollywood doesn't know how to make it work. It's kind of sad. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, 4 stars. Highly recommend. This is a sequel to both the original Wolfman from 1941 and The Ghost of Frankenstein from 1942. That would make it the 5th film in the Frankenstein franchise and also the 2nd Wolfman movie.
Wow, they make a lot of Frankenstein movies.
Yeah,
Damn, I had no idea that they made that many. I knew they made some, but not that many.
They continue on, and then after this, Dracula they start adding more and more monsters to him.
Right. Combine them all. Yeah, I was gonna say, this one definitely feels like Wolfman 2. It's set up to be about Wolfman. Frankenstein happens to be here, and then that somehow works out. But it's really more about Wolfman and his struggles with immortality, essentially. The movie is from the 40s, and it has that old movie pacing where it's just like, okay, get on with it. And because of that, it's a little bit boring despite its short runtime of like an hour and 15 minutes or something. At some point I was still like, man, let's just get on with it. And so because of that, I'm probably gonna give it like 2 stars.
This movie is not boring. That's fucking crazy. This movie's short and a lot happens.
It just meandered a little bit. Not meandered, it just was like, it just rehashed him being, I don't know. It felt stagnant at times to me, but then again, yeah, I have a goldfish brain of about 15 seconds of paying attention, and then I want something else.
Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is available on Blu-ray and DVD. It was streaming on Peacock, but I believe it just expired. I think with the Universal Monster movies, they do this kind of similar thing with like Christmas movies, where they take them off the streamers around Halloween time.
So you have to pay for it?
Don't they do this with Elf? Every year doesn't Elf is free all year until Christmas time, and then you have to pay $4 to watch it.
Bastards.
It's kind of bullshit. You've already paid for this movie multiple times. It's like,
that's why there's a resurgence, Gary, of pirating. I don't know if you've heard about this, but pirating is coming back.
Did it ever really go away?
No, it's always been around, but I think there was like the Napster era. There was like everybody started learning about pirating. Everybody started having internet, and then it had a pretty big decline because they started cracking down on it. But now
I think it had a decline because of Spotify. With pirating music, it just doesn't really make sense anymore because they're giving it to you for so cheap.
Yeah, you can
because the business model has collapsed. It's easy to download a movie at this point, so it's kind of a similar thing.
Yeah, but it's also because everything's divided up, and it's like, I can't just wait around till 9 o'clock on my regular cable channel to watch my show that is available to me. If I have a show that's on a service that I just don't have, I'm not gonna, get a service just to watch a show or watch one movie.
Yeah.
I
understand that you pirate things illegally.
Yeah.
Russ, I get it that you steal things. Do you want to put your phone number and your address here for the FBI?
818.
I think the intro to this movie is one of the most memorable and best of all the Universal monster movies.
Mm-hmm. It sets us up with like big stretches of a spooky graveyard. It brings us inside a mausoleum. It's already spooky. And then the fact that, oh shit, we open the coffin and he's alive,
So he's brought to the hospital and he continues to murder people. And eventually he just breaks out of his straitjacket and goes to find the gypsy woman.
I think it's so funny that the day the guy wakes up from being dead or whatever, every single fucking night for like 2 weeks straight is just full moon every night, buddy. Oh,
yeah.
Oh shit, the moon's up. Of course it is. It's nighttime.
Yeah, isn't it? It's kind of a big coincidence. The moon is just always a full moon.
It's always a full moon. Is it that weeks are like months are passing in between these times, or is it literally like, if it's sort of close to a full moon, it's pretty much full for a Wolfman?
Yeah, no, I think it's just complete bullshit. I don't think you have that many full moons.
Yeah.
I also do not know the moon cycle at all.
It's monthly.
So you'd only have a couple full moons a month.
You'd only have one full moon a month. Maybe two
obviously
if you're lucky.
This movie just takes place at the end of the month, Russ.
Yeah, I guess.
It's just a plot hole.
Yeah, it's a weird plot hole, and they just need to have him turn into the Wolfman, so...
Does it make you feel smart to point out the plot hole in a 100-year-old movie, Russ?
Yeah, it does.
Lawrence and Maliva travel to the village of Fossaria, where they hope to find Dr. Frankenstein's notes and the remains of his castle. They get to the town, and as soon as they get to Frankenstein's village, the townspeople are like instantly weary of them and kind of hostile and aggressive.
I mean, you've had a Frankenstein's monster attack your town, what, you said 5 times, Gary?
Yeah.
5 fucking movies? Of course you're going to be weary of anything weird happening.
The movie plays it off like, oh, they're so mean to us, and then the next scene he murders somebody. It's like, of course.
Of course.
You're an awful, cursed man.
Not to mention, they stumble in with, first off, a gypsy who's not well received around Europe, and a guy who's like seemingly drunk and violent. He's not drunk, but he is like all out of it because he's been killing
Talbot,
people.
Yeah.
Talbot's walking around like flipping chairs and like, "Ah, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I'll come back and murder you," whatever. He doesn't say that, but he does. So I would have kicked him out and the gypsy,
Yeah, it's not completely illogical. Like I said, in the next scene, he literally murders a woman. The murder of the woman causes the villagers to kind of freak out, and they chase the Wolfman towards Frankenstein's castle, where he falls through the burned out floor and into the frozen cellar.
Is he Wolfman at that point? I forget. Or is it just Talbot?
When he falls through the cellar, he turns back into a human.
Okay.
But he is a Wolfman when they chase him, yeah.
All right, good.
And this is where he discovers Frankenstein's monster, who's now frozen in ice. And this...
Okay. Before you get there, like, all right, I guess I hadn't seen the previous Frankensteins. I guess I just
previous
assumed,
4 Frankensteins.
Yeah, so at some point he could have got frozen in ice, because I was like, last I knew, he was in a burning windmill.
Pretty sure this is a direct continuation, and in the last one they destroyed the castle and he got washed away or whatever.
And now he's frozen in ice, apparently. All right.
Frankenstein's on ice. So the Wolfman breaks the monster free, and here's where the movie kind of fucks up a bit, because in this version, Frankenstein's monster is inexplicably blind, deaf, and dumb. Bela Lugosi plays Frankenstein in this movie like Helen Keller.
Trying to touch everything.
This is where the cliche of Frankenstein with the hands out comes from. Because in the previous Frankenstein movie, Bela Lugosi plays a character called Igor, and they take the monster's brain out and they put Igor's brain into Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
So in the last version of Frankenstein, Frankenstein is Bela Lugosi, and he talks like Bela Lugosi. And then also the brain swap makes him go blind.
Interesting.
So this is all a continuation from the last movie.
I had no idea where he was blind in this movie.
Yeah.
But I guess that would make sense for them.
And then in post-production, when they started editing this movie, they made a decision to cut all of the monster's lines because they thought that Bela Lugosi's accent was kind of goofy.
That's ridiculous.
So that's why this movie is so kind of
he's-
like, especially the Frankenstein element of it feels so compromised and kind of off.
Sure, yeah.
The original idea behind Frankenstein meets the Wolfman was to have Lon Chaney Jr. play both the Wolfman and Frankenstein.
Okay.
Because he was the Wolfman in the
Right.
original Wolfman, and he was also the previous Frankenstein. But I guess it didn't work out. It was too big of a obstacle for production to have one actor play both of these characters with all the makeup and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot.
But a lot of people are very critical of Bela Lugosi's version of Frankenstein. So the Frankenstein performance feels off, and the movie is a bit pasted together, but it's still a relatively fun movie, and it is a very quick watch.
So he Wolfman busts him out. I don't know. Do you have something else?
You want me to keep going with the plot?
No, I mean I kind of want to touch on this point. So Wolfman busts him out of the ice, and then Frankenstein's his friend.
But also you have to understand, Frankenstein is not really Frankenstein. It is Igor,
Right, it's
the
Igor.
lab assistant.
Okay, but he's also mute.
He's also
Now.
blind, deaf, and dumb. Yeah.
Reading Frozen Nights might do that to you. So
Not a great ally in your search for knowledge.
yeah.
But Lawrence Talbot has a new plot
Yes.
to try to get the information. He poses as a potential buyer of the Frankenstein estate, and he meets Frankenstein's daughter. I believe Lana Massey is the actress who plays Baroness Frankenstein. And so she shows up, and she has this meeting under the auspices of, he's going to buy the property, but he has no intention to buy the property.
No, he just wants to get in there and look around.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. There's a little bit of a sexual tension between the Wolfman and the Baroness Frankenstein. They end up being invited by the Burgenmeister to the New Wine Festival, which leads to the movie's great musical number out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude, musical number. I did not expect that, but I didn't really want it to end, so it was actually welcomed.
Oddly enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I kind of wish there was more musical numbers throughout the movie.
At the New Wine Festival, Dr. Mannering shows up, the doctor who was taking care of Lawrence Talbot in Queensland, and he's trying to convince him to be put in a facility.
To be
Incapacitated or whatever.
right, put into an asylum.
Then suddenly the monster shows up, and the whole thing turns to chaos.
Yeah.
And this kind of leads us to the conclusion of the film, where Dr. Mannering kind of goes a bit nuts and becomes almost like a Frankenstein character.
Yeah. Because, all right, so we've established now that Wolfman wants to die. He's kind of immortal because of his Wolfman powers.
Yeah.
Frankenstein is just alive. We don't know what his motivations are because all his
Well,
dialogue
Frankenstein
got
is
cut.
all fucked up.
Yeah,
And that's what happens in the conclusion. Basically, Dr. Mannering tells the monster, I'm going to use the machine to fix you. While he's telling the townspeople and the Baroness he's going to use the machine to kill the monster.
Right.
He's going to kill the monster and Lawrence.
Right.
When he gets to the actual experiment, the curiosity about seeing the monster at full power. There's actually like a smart idea in these movies, in the Frankenstein movie in general,
Sure.
which is this idea of chasing immortality, which I think is
Sure.
like leads you to kind of ruin you. People aren't supposed to live forever.
Right. This curiosity, this morbid curiosity to...
The power of being God, the power
Right.
of giving people immortality and being able to change nature is like a dangerous thing to mess with, is kind of the idea of Frankenstein.
Right.
And they kind of bring that back into this.
Which is interesting, again, like, because the whole theme kind of this movie is this man wants to die. And so we really need to, like respect his wishes, respect people's wishes when they don't want to live. Like, I know that's...
Oh, you're like a Jack Kevorkian type thing.
Yeah, but this doctor, he wants to make sure that this guy lives, and maybe not lives in a...
He means to help him.
Yeah, because that's what doctors do. They have that Hippocratic oath that they need to do what they can to keep people alive,
Yeah.
That's part of their doctoring.
Yeah, and there's a great moment when he tells the doctor, he's like, I want to die. And he's like, that's morbid.
Yes. Just let the guy die. He's going out and killing people. And even now, though, at the end, when the doctor's like, all right, he's turned over his new leaf, he's going to help these guys die or whatever. But then he doesn't, Again, that curiosity.
Well, the doctor's not turning over a new leaf.
Not a leaf.
He goes
but-
crazy
Right.
at the end when he decides
I wouldn't
to try
say it's a new leaf, but I'm saying he does go against his own Hippocratic oath to try to help these guys die, but ultimately doesn't do that. He lied to these guys even, you know?
Yeah.
He's a fucking liar.
He falls into the same kind of trap that Frankenstein falls into. He kind of goes mad with this technology.
What did he think was gonna happen? That Frankenstein was gonna like get all juiced up and get a bigger raging dick or something? Like what is he gonna get, like Super Saiyan hair? What did he want to happen with super powered Frankenstein?
He wants to push his field that he's in. He wants to be the greatest doctor who creates immortality. You can't see somebody getting kind of allured by this.
Sure, but
Like,
again,
it totally makes sense.
What did he expect would happen?
Think about now how rich people are trying to swap out their organs and live for, like, this is happening now. You know what I mean? There's like these guys who are like trying to extend their lives through this crazy medical shit. It's probably not going to work. Dr. Mannering goes nuts, and the Baroness Frankenstein
Turns it up to 11.
attempts to sabotage the machine, and the whole thing just goes haywire and explodes or whatever. And there's a little bit of a moment where Frankenstein attempts to grab the Baroness, and that leads to a little bit of a struggle between Frankenstein and the Wolfman. And then the disgruntled innkeeper from the beginning,
The mustache.
yeah, he decides to just blow up the fucking dam.
What a psychopath.
He's kind of the right one,
Right?
I mean, he does risk the injury of a lot of innocent people too.
The dam explosion and wash away of the castle miniature, primo. I thought it was some of the best effects in the movie, obviously. You know, I mean, the only other effects were Wolfman changing very slowly, you know.
Yeah, the old like spirit gum transition is not great.
I could see how it would be groundbreaking, but they do it like 2 or 3 times in the movie, and it's like a good 30 seconds to a minute long thing as he like kind of moves a little bit between the
It's
fades.
so imperfect,
He's
yeah.
kind of like twitching his lip because the hair's probably stuck up his nose or whatever, and so that wasn't my favorite part. But the miniature was sweet. I don't know how big that miniature was, but it felt like a large-scale miniature.
I thought the effects were pretty great, and like the whole thing is just so slick and well shot. I recommend Wolfman versus Frankenstein. Russ,
I think it's cool, but you can skip it if you want.
To create images
映
is
像はいつも
always a
可
challenge.
能性への挑戦だ
Digital magic.